Right, so we're going to jump in. So, super excited to have you here and to share this journey with you. This webinar is called Express, so it's going to be really focused around liberating our self-expression and giving you some tools and some insights to really support you on that journey. So for me, a really big piece is learning to, or having an experience where we start to really shine our light of awareness. So having a bit of understanding where this suppression of our expression really stems from. So starting to go a little bit into understanding trauma, just to have that awareness. Because what I find happens when we start to piece those pieces together and start to be like, oh wow, I can understand maybe why I'm having these challenges, or what's maybe preventing me from taking that next step on the journey, it can really start to just open us up and starts to shift how we see ourselves, how we see the world, and starts to open up those blocks that we're experiencing. And so for me on my journey, my name is Monique. So if you haven't worked with me before, I'm going to share a little bit more about my journey in a moment. But a big piece was that I had so much fear around expressing myself, or even just having a conversation, let alone actually going into self-expression. And so I really had to do a lot of work around healing and integrating trauma and clearing away those blocks, almost like seeing my throat as like this channel, and it had a lot of blockages, a lot of energy that was stuck in this space. And so as I started to clear that and open that up, what happened was my voice was able to come through, and I had a lot of fumbles, a lot of falls along the way. And through that self-reflection, through shining that light of awareness of what is coming up for me, what is here for me, and really having a lot of compassion, that really supported me on going on this journey, where now I've connected with thousands of people over the last few years, supporting them to really open up their voice. So it's really still completely mind-blowing to me that I could even be here with you guys on this call, sharing what I've learned on my journey, let alone the thousands of people that I've been connecting with. It's just really quite mind-blowing to see just how far I've come. And so I really love to share this because it really just shows a little bit of what's possible. And I'm really, really excited to share this with other people, because I still remember that deep pain that I experienced when I wasn't able to express, because my inability to speak and express really caused this feeling of isolation. And I really struggled to feel connected, to feel community, to feel like I really belonged, and like I fit in. But I would try and almost change myself and put on different masks in order to fit in, rather than feeling like I could be my authentic, real self and fully express with confidence and still be received. And so I'm super excited to share this journey with you and to guide you on your next steps. And just know that wherever you are on your journey, whether this is all completely brand new, whether you've already kind of begun the steps of liberating your expression and doing your inner work, there is something here for you. I really believe that we're guided exactly where we need to be. So even if some of this stuff that you've heard it before, or you've heard it in a different way, I invite you to be really present with what's being shared here and just notice what is here for you, what is coming up for you. And knowing that it's really through that repetition that we allow these seeds to sink much deeper than they have before, and they land a little differently. So often what I notice for me and for clients is that when we hear something in a certain way at a certain time, it just clicks and we just really get it, and it really shifts. So I go into a little bit around belief systems in this webinar, and beliefs are really thoughts repeated over time. So if we are starting to rewire our neural pathways, so if we have a limiting belief that we want to shift or change, and we realize that that is a belief that we repeated, and it got stronger and stronger. So that neural pathway in the brain got really thick and really strong. And that's why it can feel really hard to move through it, because it's a process of weakening that pathway and strengthening a new pathway. So if there's something that I'm sharing and it's like, oh, I've heard that before, I just invite you to come in with an open mind, open heart, and see, well, where is this landing for me today? Does this resonate? Does it not resonate? And it's okay if it doesn't. Just really noticing what comes up for you, what's here for you, because you never know what you might receive in this webinar, whether it's in the beginning, the middle, or the end, or what starts to shift and land for you over the coming days. Because what I find for me when I'm guiding anything, I often offer a energetic transmission and an activation. And so something can be activated within our time together today, but then over the coming days, as we integrate what we've received, it starts to open up like kind of like this flower where we start to receive different insights. We might have some energetic shifts, some emotions coming up. And so it's really allowing yourself to get really curious through this process. What is here for me? What's coming up for me? What's here to be felt? And because I do share quite a bit and I do a lot of work with trauma and core beliefs, it can bring up some emotion, and sometimes we can start to feel a little overwhelmed. So if you're starting to feel overwhelmed, like anything I'm saying is a bit too much for your nervous system in this moment, what I'll invite you to do is just to close down your eyes, to take a few deep breaths, and maybe bring a little bit of touch to the body, just some gentle squeezes down your arm, maybe connecting to your chest and feeling your heartbeat. Whatever feels really supportive. Sometimes I always found like just kind of stroking or like bringing my palms down my thighs really helps me. Some repetitive movements would always help, to something really calming, really nice, just to help you in resourcing and regulating your nervous system. And then you can come back when you're ready. So stay in the space because you are deeply held, deeply supported here. And just allow yourself to go within, to feel what's here, to remind yourself that you're safe. It's really important to do that. Another thing you can do is just utilize the chat, utilize this space that we have together today to really receive that support, to be seen, to be heard, to be witnessed. But you may find that actually just by voicing what's coming up for you, what's resonating, what you're maybe experiencing, or any challenges that are coming up for you, it's really a powerful way to be seen and heard, and it will help your healing process, your integrating process. And you may even find that there's others in the group that resonate with what you're sharing, and that can help them, and then they can share with you, like, I get that, I've been there too. And we start to really experience this sense of community, which is really, really healing. Allow this space to be a healing portal for you, a safe container for you to move through this process. So I'd also love to hear what's coming up for you as we move through this. And then if you have any questions, I will answer those at the end as well. So pop those in the chat. All right, so welcome to Express. So this is a new webinar that really came through me probably about a couple of weeks ago. Because of the challenges that I've gone through myself with my throat and my inability to speak, it's just so important for me to support others to do that as well. And I tend to support a lot of women. I work with both women and men, but predominantly women. And I find what happens is we go through this healing journey, we go through these initiations and activations, and then we become this kind of energetic transmission and this being that's really able to support others that are still on that journey and having those challenges that we had in the past. Because I've found some really powerful tools that have supported me, and now that I've been sharing them, I see how supportive they are for others as well. It's like how could I not share this? And so I'm so passionate because I just, like I said, I remember how it felt when I wasn't able to speak. I literally couldn't say hello to another person. I would just completely freeze up. And this really led me on my journey, and I just always wanted to find a way to help others. And so now I do that through speaking, teaching, guiding somatic journeys and workshops and lots of different things. So let's dive in. So just a little bit about me. In my early years of life, I struggled with depression, social anxiety, self-hatred, chronic people-pleasing, perfectionism, inability to speak, express, and connect. And so my journey led me down many paths. I've tried many different modalities. I've read countless books, done countless programs and qualifications and different things, just really on a soul searching journey. It really began from a place of I was so lost and so deeply like stuck in this depressive state, and kind of going in through those intense highs and lows. So I was either really anxious, really on edge, or I was really depressed and numbing out and dissociated. And so it began of like, well, I really didn't want to be here anymore. And I was like, well, I want to find a way to live. And I was like, there's got to be more to life than this. I have to believe that there's something more. And there was something deep in me beneath all of the stuff I was experiencing that was saying there has to be something more. And so my journey began as like a self-healing journey of like, I've got to heal this. I've got to kind of fix this. I've got to fix me. I felt really broken. On that journey, I realized it wasn't that I needed fixing, it was that I really needed the space held for me. I needed to have more compassion. I needed to feel safe in order to express and release all the stuff that was buried within me that I had no awareness around. I really didn't know a lot about trauma, and I didn't think I had trauma. And I felt like there was so many others experiencing so much worse than me. I felt like I had it kind of pretty good. So how dare I feel what I was feeling? And so I consistently invalidated myself and didn't give myself that permission to feel. And on my journey, especially when I started to find things like breath work and somatic experiencing and mentors that were able to hold the space really powerfully for me without judging and shaming me, that's when I started to really feel like I was safe to feel what was held inside and find my authentic expression. And that really led me on the journey to where I am today, where I'm supporting so many others to do this. So as I mentioned, I've worked with thousands of people in person and online now, really supporting them to heal and integrate trauma, release conditioning, patterns, limiting beliefs, and supporting them to experience a deep sense of inner peace, safety, self-love, acceptance, and really where they can live authentically and unapologetically. And this is what I really desire to support you with today. So this is why we're here on this webinar. I want to give you some powerful tools that you can take away to support you on your journey to liberating your expression. So it's important to know that this isn't an overnight thing. It is a process. It is a journey. And there's always more layers to this. Like even for me, there is more available to me to really even expand my ability to express. And I like to share that with you because sometimes we are seeking like kind of a magic pill or an overnight thing, or like a lot of the time we can be in so much pain or we want this thing so much that we're looking for the quick thing that's going to get us there. What I'm going to be offering you is not only an energetic transmission that will activate this journey for you of opening up your throat, but also some tools that you can take away to continue this process to really expand this space and step more into your authenticity. So today we're going to be diving into, as I said, understanding trauma and its role in shutting down our voice and our self-expression, why we overreact, get overwhelmingly anxious and emotionally triggered. Because often this part is really important because often we are struggling with this and we really need our expression in those times to really help us move through those triggered states. So we're going to go into why this is occurring, and this is really helping with that shining your light of awareness. We'll be going into more of those belief systems and how to take your power back, how to step into your expression. And I'll be sharing with you my 4-step process to support you in healing and integrating trauma so that you can liberate your expression and live life on your terms. And then we'll go into some ways that we can work together if that's resonating for you.
If you are on YouTube, thank you for watching, and if you are on my podcast, thank you so much for listening. It is always such a pleasure and an honor to serve you. If you would like to watch the full webinar express, download my app Raw Embodiment and sign up. It's completely free and it's available on the App Store or on the web browser. You can visit rawembodiment.passion.io to watch the full webinar and receive this incredible transmission. Thank you so much, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon.